Comisión Nacional de los Derechos Humanos was created in January 28 of 1992. This association had some antecedents of organizations trying to help people whose rights were violated, but this is the strongest one in Mexico since until these times.
Of respect and protection to the people from the government and aggressors led to the creation of the CNDH. On 1992, a governmental reform started that there should be an institution separated from the government that should protect the citizens' rights. The CNDH was the result. Since the Mexican Revolution, there have been various attempts of creating an organization in charge of the people's rights.
There were similar commissions, but they were not very efficient and made the citizens feel insecure. The Comisión Nacional de los Derechos Humanos, CNDH, has full autonomy on their decisions and has its own budget, meaning protection will be enforced to the people, fighting against any violator.
During the times of the creation of the CNDH, the disintegration of Yugoslavia occurred. There were wars in Croatia and Bosnia, where the human lives of people were violated. The human rights that were commonly violated were: no one should be subjected to torture or to cruel, inhuman, or degrading treatment or punishment. Serbian authorities used cruel forces to implement authority on their territories. In Germany, the destruction of the Berlin Wall began during this time, so East and West Germany were united. After 27 years, Nelson Mandela, a person who defended the rights of black people, was released from prison. Also, this period marked the end of the Cold War, where many human rights were violated due to the brutal series of wars. Many people were killed and treated with violence and cruelty, and U.S. intervened to protect and defend people from Kuwait. Human rights such as unfair trial and arbitrary arrest were exposed during this event. The Soviet Union dissolved and the 15 republics that made up the Union became independent. Chile had the first female president.
Other things that happened by this time were Africa also created an association that protects the human rights of people, even though it is not always supported. In Rwanda, genocide and massive human rights violations happened in 1990. Conferences by the UN on the issues of children, education, environment, and women's rights take place. 10 countries like Africa, Mexico, China, Chile, US begin organizations to protect and promote human rights of citizens. People were against violation of human rights by the leaders and began protests against them. The main characters of the creation of the CNDH were Carlos Salinas de Gortari, Jorge Carpizo, he was the first president, Ponciano Arriaga, Pedro G. Zorrilla, and Luis Raúl González Pérez.
Most of the impacts of the CNDH in Mexico were good. It has helped indigenous people to prevent racism. People who were subjected to their rights, for example, children in labor, raped kids, and problems that have to do with government corruption. The money the CNDH gains is supported by the government. It is used to solve different types of problems and investigation. CNDH, since the beginning, has helped people and continues to make people feel safer, and is willing to continue helping people who have right violation.
The creation of the CNDH was a way to promote the human rights in Mexico. The Mexican government created the institution only to dedicate its time to the citizens. A lot of the institutions tried to create and promote rights as this one, but did not succeed. This new commission made the citizens to feel safer since they have a backup institution that helped them. Unfortunately, this was founded during the time when the people had doubts of the government.
CNDH had some trouble solving some problems related with violations. Even though we think the institution has no relation with the government has many privileges in the CNDH. The government should start worrying about their own problems, same as the CNDH, because if these two are together, it serves nothing to us as a society.
A very critical case the CNDH took was the Ayotzinapa case, which happened on September 26, 2014. A mass disappearance took place in Ayotzinapa, Guerrero. 43 students disappeared that day, and not only Mexico became alert of the situation. The whole world came to know not only Mexico and their troubles, but the night it took away 43 unarmed students. The events were somehow like this. The students stole some buses from Iguala to get to Ayotzinapa, but before they got there, they got intercepted by the police, and 43 of them disappeared to never be found again, or at least alive. Guerrero's mayor, José Luis Abarcan, disappeared right after the attack. The CNDH stated that it was the third time they had to enter Guerrero to look into investigations and try to help things, because he had a mass disappearance plus extrajudicial execution, and it was an attack against the integrity of the people, and government's public services failed. Not only did the government did nothing about it, but they tried to hide it. The CNDH has helped Mexico in many ways, and even though not every case is completed as should be, Mexico would have a whole lot of trouble without it. We think that the CNDH is a very important association, and we hope you learned a lot about this.